Now, what naturally grabs our attention the most about this result is the visualization of our data. But before we dive into analyzing that, I want to suggest we first take a look at what's happening behind our dashboard. We're going to break this result into two parts. On the left side of your screen, you have the response. This is the explanation that Claude gives us in the chat. On the right side, you have the result, the actual visualization. So, we have the response and the result. Now, I know you're eager to jump straight into the result, but I recommend we look at the response first, because it often gets overlooked, even though it usually provides important context. Not only does it help us understand what we've received, but it also teaches us how this strategy works so we can improve our future prompts. I won't read it completely since we're in a video, but here it says that the error has been fixed, and it explains that the dashboard now loads immediately with all 22 rows of your sales data. This is how it solved the error we saw in the console earlier. For the first chart, the one we asked for, Claude first explains what it will create, then it creates it, and finally it explains what it has built. It walks us through the layout, a full-width revenue trend chart, KPI cards. Those cards you can see animating when you hover over them, along with 4 additional charts and interactive features like filter controls, real-time updates, hover effects, a responsive design, and detailed chart breakdowns covering revenue trends, regional performance, product profitability, sales channel split, and profit margin analysis. It also explains the visual concept it used when building the dashboard. So even if reading this part feels a little dry, it's worth it. You'll start picking up new keywords to use in your future prompts. That's the response. Now, let's analyze the result. We'll divide it into two parts, the preview and the code. This toggle here lets you switch between the two. The preview, where we are now, shown by the little AI icon, is the visual output. The code is the text behind it. This is what allows Claude to create the actual visualization. You don't need to understand it or touch it if you don't have those skills, but you can if you do. Typically, Claude structures the code in 3 parts. HTML, the tags that create the actual elements and structure of our dashboard, application, or website. CSS, the visual styling, margins, font sizes, font weights, colors, backgrounds, and so on. JavaScript, this is where the logic lives. It contains functions that handle things like loading the CSV file, processing the data, or initializing charts using chart.js, along with everything else that happens when we interact with the application. This code is yours to use however you like. You can copy it or download it as an HTML file using the buttons here, then import it into your IDE to make edits, or push it to GitHub. Whatever works for you. You own this code completely. And finally, the preview. This is what you've been waiting to see, because it's the actual result of everything you built. This is your sales performance dashboard. You have these KPI cards that animate when you hover over them, the revenue trend over time, regional performance, product profitability. Though I'm not too happy with how this particular chart looks, we can change that later. The sales channel split and the profit margin by category. You can also filter these results, for example by the South region, electronics as the product category, and offline as the sales channel. The visualizations update instantly to reflect your selections. Combining too many filters at once can make the data look a bit sparse. So with this CSV file, it's more interesting to explore one filter at a time. So the key takeaways from this lesson: Claude handles roughly 90% of the work for you. Your new role is to review, refine, and turn the output into something professional and polished. Coming up, we'll look at how to open this file in your browser, test that everything works, and make adjustments if anything needs fixing. We're still building, so let's keep going. Hello and welcome. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to make your dashboard public so anyone can view it from anywhere in the world. And yes, we'll be using Claude's help to do it. Our goal here is simple. We want Claude to help us publish the HTML file we've generated in a way that's fast, free, and accessible, ideally without needing to set up any servers or purchase a domain. Option 1 is the easiest. You'll notice a Publish button right here in Claude. When you click it, you'll see a message that says, "Publishing this artifact will make it accessible to anyone on the internet. Your chat will remain private." That's an important distinction. The public will only see the dashboard itself, not any of your previous conversation with Claude. From there, you just accept the terms and hit Publish and Copy Link. That's it. One button click, and your dashboard is live. You can copy that link, open a new browser tab, paste it in, and there it is. Your dashboard, online and accessible to anyone in the world. That's option 1. Quick, free, and effortless. Option 2 involves using an external hosting service. These can be free or paid. There are plenty of options available. The one I'll show you, which I personally use and is very popular right now, is Netlify at netlify.com. This isn't a full Netlify tutorial, just a quick look at how it works. Once you've logged in or created an account, you'll see 3 ways to deploy a project: import from Git, use a template, or deploy manually by dragging and dropping a file. We'll use that last option. First, download your HTML file from Claude. Once it's on your system, there's one small thing to note. Netlify requires you to drop a folder containing a file named index.html, not just a standalone HTML file. So create a new folder, rename your file to index.html, place it inside, and then drag and drop that folder into Netlify. It'll upload, and in just a few seconds, you'll see. Deploy success. Your project is now live. Netlify also gives you options to set up a custom domain and enable HTTPS, so you have a lot more configuration available if you need it. But the core thing is that your project is already online and shareable via the link Netlify provides. Both options get us to the same goal. Your dashboard is published and ready to share with the world. We've covered the 2 main approaches: the built-in Claude Publish button and an external service like Netlify. Great work making it this far. There's still more to learn, so I'll see you in the next lesson. Now, you have a fully functional dashboard. Great work and congratulations. But it's time to take things one step further. We're going to improve the aesthetics, the clarity, and the overall user experience. And we'll do it all using Claude, without writing a single line of code manually. So, what can we improve at this stage? After the first design pass, there are a few things that commonly need adjusting. Colors. The palette might feel flat, hard to read, or simply not reflect the tone or brand you're going for. Spacing and layout. Things might feel too cramped or too spread out. Titles and labels. They may be too generic or unclear. Interactivity. You might want to add more filters, buttons, or animations. The most important thing when asking Claude to make changes is to be specific and clear about what you want. For example, if I want to improve the visual style, I might use a prompt like, "I want more contrasting colors with a vibrant color palette on a dark but not black background, and a more modern layout with wider margins and better chart organization." This tells Claude exactly what to change: the look and feel, without touching the structure, functionality, or interactivity. Once I send that, Claude starts rewriting the code. You'll notice up at the top of the screen, it shows a version number. This means Claude is working on a new iteration of your dashboard. Each time it makes a significant change, that version number increments. The good news is you can use that version history to go back to a previous version if you preferred how something looked earlier. But for now, let's let Claude finish. And here's the result. The same dashboard, but with a completely different visual style and color scheme. Much more refined. From here, you can keep iterating. For example, to improve titles and labels, you could say, "Chart titles are too generic. Replace them with more descriptive titles that clearly reflect what each chart is showing." Or to add interactivity. Add a drop-down menu to select a region, or add a button to toggle between US dollars and euros. The possibilities are open. You can keep layering improvements, one prompt at a time. A few key recommendations before we move on. If something breaks or doesn't work, just tell Claude, "There's an error in this part of the code. Can you check and fix it?" You can even paste in the error message directly, and that makes it even easier for Claude to pinpoint the issue. And if you don't understand part of the code, just ask, "What does this function do?" Or, "Why are you using this library?" Claude can explain as well as build. You're not just limited to asking for changes. You can ask for understanding too. The bottom line, you don't need to be a coding expert. Claude lets you iterate on the design until it looks exactly the way you want. All you need is a clear idea of what you want and a well-crafted prompt. In the next lesson, we'll talk about Claude's current limitations and when it might make sense to take manual control back. Let's keep going.